Live. There's a way to start an entrance. Live, just shouted lively. Good evening, everybody who is watching live, to join us live on this, normally a Wednesday, but this Thursday as we rocket towards the end of the summer week. Good evening if you are joining us. I am streaming on like loads of places. YouTube, oh no, just two. YouTube, Sip and Share Facebook page, as always. And Shed One, woo! I'm crashing on someone else's page. And this is the Meet the Distiller interview chatter thing that we do to know Jeremy Paxman with the distillery and the team who create the gin that I tasted last week. Put my phone on silent, that's going to go crazy. Tasted last week, and what I did last week, very much enjoyed it, was this one, Shed One Gin. So if you are watching, please say hi. I am about to be joined by the team, the magicians that make this elixir. It sounds quite magical in its word anyway. I'm sure Andy will tell us all about it in a moment. So good evening. So if you're having a little sip, please tell us what you're drinking, where you are. What did I say today? Where you are, what you're drinking, something else. So let's meet Zoe and Andy and learn a bit more. Here they come, here they come, here they come. Here they come.
Hello.
Hi. We're gate crashing your feed. We're going to be much more used to seeing you guys than they are thinking, who on earth is this strange woman drinking on camera? So thank you for letting us take over your page for this evening.
You're welcome.
Now we look at in a shed. Are we in a shed? Where are we? Where are we sat going, Andy?
Well, we are in a shed. We're in the auction mart in Ulverston, and the building we occupy is the old calf shed, which was a happy turn of events when we moved from the original Shed One, which is one of the that we have at home.
Good. Can we please explain this? Because Shed One, to make a Shed One, I'm there thinking, hi, Karen. Hi, Laura. I'm there thinking, how many sheds do we have? How big is this? We're talking about local. We're talking about Cumbria. We're talking about homegrown, and they've got a list of sheds. What's going on? So, talk to us about Shed One. What is this?
Shed One came about because when we moved into our home on Sunderland Terrace, we had 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 kitchen, and 2 sheds. So everything got a number. So we had Shed One and Shed Two, bathroom 1, bedroom 2. When you're loading boxes and moving things around, it makes things easy. And then several years later, when Zoe and I decided to have a double at gin, the little still went in Shed One.
Where do we put the still, we said?
Where do we
the
put
answer
the
is, let's put it in Shed One.
Yeah, and the name stuck.
So it started off to be quite logistically driven, this name, this branding exercise, didn't it?
There wasn't millions of pounds of marketing. Or
No.
We weren't at a Manchester agency. We weren't sitting there brain boxing and thinking for weeks.
People have asked, yeah. They said, where did you get the concept from? How long did it take? You know, people were involved. They said, no, it went in Shed One.
Was there much consumer testing of the name? You know, did you focus group? How many people did you survey? No. Got 2 sheds. Shed One, Shed Two gin sounds a little bit shit, so let's go with Shed One.
There you go.
So how long actually, do you know what I need? Hi, Rachel. We need to know who you are, you two, because I do not know whether you are married, whether you're brother and sister, whether you are friends, whether you are neighbours. And I make a very hearty assumption a lot of the time when I do this, that the people in front of me are married. So I don't want to call it marital status, but what's the situation, folks? Are we staying? Or?
The situation is that we are married, and in fact, there's a very long story about how we met, but simply put, I was living in South Korea and had been in Asia for 7 years. I went to Japan for 1 year, and I was still there 7 years later. And Andrew, who is a professional actor, was doing a very short few-day tour in South Korea, just at one theatre in Seoul. And I live 350 miles away from Seoul, but through a bizarre circumstances, ended up meeting. And that was the October. And then I came back the following March to Britain, and we got married the following May.
No.
Yeah.
Of all of the places in the world,
Yeah.
What? So Andrew, and I've got to go because Zoe said professional actor, so straight away I'm like, oh, what's going on? Please make it sound. You have to lie. No one will know. Make it sound as glorious and sexy as everyone thinks it is. Okay, ready?
Oh.
What? No, I don't.
No. Living out of a suitcase. So,
Damn it!
Sun End is just fabulous. No, I can't knock it. I had a very good career in the theatre, toured all over the country, around the world, and going to South Korea with Shakespeare's Globe to their National Theatre, which is where I met Zoe. Yeah, fabulous life.
He also played a tough guy with a chihuahua and a tarantula in Tracy Beaker Returns. So
I love Tracy Beaker Returns. Off to YouTube.
But you never know as an actor what's going to happen or what's going to, you pick the phone up and you go, hello. And I had one of those calls that actors often joke about when your agent goes, how are you with spiders? I'm fine. I've no idea. I'm fine with them. So the Tracy Beaker Returns episode, I spent most of it wandering around with a tarantula in my hand. So I'm fine with spiders, as it turns out.
So you were a jobbing professional actor doing your thing, stealing the show from Tracy Beaker. So pre-gin, I'm pretty sure we've not got onto botanicals yet, but we will. Sorry, what were you doing? What were you doing in your very international traveling the world before you guys met, or when you met? And cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Absolutely. Cheers. Got a nice chili fest here at this moment. Well, I started my career as a special paint finisher. So I was painting murals and doing marbling and wood graining and all of that. And then I got an opportunity to go to Japan for a year and to be an assistant English teacher at a senior high school. And I said, yeah, why not? Let's have a go. And I ended up in a little town in the countryside with me and 6,000 Japanese people, which was absolutely amazing.
I bet it was.
So after the first year, that's why I decided, no, I'm not going anywhere. And so I ended up staying there for over 3 years. And then, as I say, I moved to South Korea, and then we met. And then I moved back here, and I continue to do teaching online and keep up with my special paint finishing. And now we make gin.
Yeah, this is what we do.
We're fast forward to the gin. How long have you been ginning for? When did the ginning start?
We officially opened October 2016. That's when we had our opening do. And we started off with 3 gins.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, because you don't just start with one. You just go, I know. We've got shed 1, shed 2. Let's do 3 gins to start with. Tell us which of the gins that were there from the beginning. What were the 3 that you had? Oh, yes. What a lineup.
First one is Cuckold's Revenge.
Naming in a minute. We're going to talk naming. So Cuckold's Revenge first.
Cuckold's Revenge, and then we had Giggle in the Ginnel.
I'm not even going to bother writing that down. Giggle in the Ginnel.
Giggle in the Ginnel. And because due to licensing and other things taking the time, it got later and later in the year. So we knew we were going to be opening up in October. So Zoe said, why don't we carry on through and have a festive gin as well? So we had Festive Tipple. So those are the 3 that we opened with.
I love how you didn't open with a signature. You just I know what we'll do. Cuckold's Revenge, Giggle in the Ginnel, and a Festive Tipple.
Yeah. Just to let people know that we're out there doing things slightly differently. So yeah, it worked well.
How many do we have in the family now? Right, come on. It's like the break.
We have 6 classically distilled gins, and we have 2 of the liqueurs. The one that you tried, and also the other elixir that we do is a Festive Bramble gin elixir. So and you have to remember that when we were doing all these up until last year, was when we moved into the old calf shed.
Yeah.
So up to that point, we were doing all of this in a 7-by-7 foot garden shed.
Shed 1, to be precise.
Shed 1.
To be confused.
Shed 2 did get used for bottling,
Yeah.
and that's at least 9 foot by 7. So yeah, you know, just massive.
So why not start with 3 gins
Yeah.
in a small shed? Yeah. Okay. 2016, October 2016. Did you say that you launched?
Yes.
And then started with the 3 gins. So what's the journey? The journey, as they say. What's the journey been like? Because I have noticed on your website, I can barely see for the amount of award stickers we have. So what's the product range? Let me just. Hey, it's been 6 months, and it's the first time that somebody bloody FaceTiming me. Let me switch my phone off. It's my best friend.
Oh, still.
Yes, yeah. Who should be watching? Yeah, she's not. I should know. She should know what she's doing. So, what's the journey been like? We've got a lot of awards. So, talk to us about since 2016. You started with 3. Now you're at 9. Did you say?
6 distilled gins, 2 liqueur stroke elixirs. Yeah.
So what awards have you been winning? What's been happening?
Well, the first award we got was with Cuckolds, which was a 2-star Great Taste Award, and that came about 8 months after we opened. So that was a real boost for us, really. And yeah, when you're doing other events within the county and all the other gin producers are there, you can then stand there and just point at the award and go, right, we're in. You know, we're not messing about.
We're gonna, well, there's a lot of gin distilleries. There's a lot of people making gin, and as a consumer, there's no doubt about it. The awards do pop out. You do see that it is exactly what an award is in terms of a mark of credibility. So Cuckold's Revenge. Let's just talk about that name for a second, because we couldn't be asked to think of a creative name for Shed 1. We just thought we're going to go with Shed 1. So what did you do? Did you then go to make up for it with all these amazing names? What doing? Cuckold's Revenge. What does that mean?
Well, again, not a lot of PR and concern and wondering where we're going to go and what we're going to do. I was working in the theatre while we were developing this gin, and I was in Merry Wives playing the cuckolded husband, Master Ford. So my revenge on the company was making the gin, and I'd come back from doing a week or two's tour, and Zoya said, how did it go? I said it went very well, and she's saying, how many bottles do we have to make? I said, we need 3 more for the company, because they were just buying it as we were making it. I was just altering the recipe and settling what we wanted to do, and they were just going, yeah, we'll have another bottle of that.
It was nice. It was a lovely company called Northern Broadsides, who have been amazingly successful. The artistic director up until last year was a guy called Barry Rutter, who's an amazing man who took theatre. It's the idea of theatre in the Northern voice. And it's fabulous, Shakespeare in the Northern voice. So lovely guys, brilliant tech people, crew amazing, actors and actresses incredible. And they were part of our taste testing team, as well as our neighbours who would sit in the garden till God knows what time at night, going, I'm not sure what we were doing. So all professionals, sommeliers or whatever. And that's how it came about. And the beauty of this one as well is because this is from Andrew playing Master Ford. And the woman who played Mistress Ford, who is Becky, who now has her own company called Picking Posies up in Carnforth, just up the road from us. She started that just a few months after we started our company. And so she grows chilies for us that go in our Chili Fest gin and our Shed Loads of Love gin. And she grows other things for us. So the 2 wives get on quite well, you know.
Which is very handy.
And we keep it in the family. It's lovely.
And I imagine the friends and the neighbours became even more prominent when you said, do you know what I think we're going to do? When was that moment, by the way? When did you go,
Oh,
I mean, gin. Should we do gin? Because you didn't have enough going on. So let's do 3 bottles. When did that happen?
That happened. It was a year or two before the Merry Wives. I was playing Kent in King Lear on tour again, and I'd got the company bug and been given my own dressing room because nobody wanted to be near me. So I was in this little dressing room in between the matinee and the evening show, just sat there thinking, right, gonna have to do something. Phoned Zoe up and said, "Hello, so how are you feeling?" So a bit rough. We're going to make gin. And so I went, right, okay, I see you. We'll talk about it at the weekend. And that was the start of it.
there was a little bit before. But
that's when it became, yes, we're going to do it.
That was a definite. Yeah. I've been making liqueurs, like these, like people do, the slows and using damson and slows and everything, etc. for years. And so Andrew had been a whiskey drinker before he met me. And I was a gin drinker, and so we would drink gin and tonics, and then I would make that at Christmas or whenever. And so I was doing quite a bit of compounding, and then then we started looking at the sheds and looking at what do we want to do. Andrew, the first year we were married, we do argue about this, but we're trying to figure out whether it was 6 weeks we saw each other, or it could have been 7 weeks all together. Because of him touring all the time.
The first year of being married, we had the same. We had the same situation for 14 years, and lockdown has provided us with a lot of entertainment because of.
Who are you? What are you still doing here?
Go away.
I understand living out of a suitcase. I understand the impact of living out of a suitcase on every single angle. So I also understand the whole sat there going, I think we should make gin, and
that is through.
Yeah.
So that was the interesting thing. So there was that, and then this, and so there was the thought process was going through, and Andrew was missing out on us living here, which is the most beautiful place in the world. I mean, I'd been a nomad for many, many years, and it wasn't until we came to Ulverston that I kind of put my passport at the bottom of a drawer and said, I'm done, I'm okay, I'll find it. So there was all of this going on, which then culminated with him lying on a dressing room floor with flu, saying, I don't want to do this.
Didn't even have a window. No. There wasn't even a window in the place.
So could you tell us all, because we were saying Cuckold's event sounds fabulous. So what's the flavour profile of Cuckold's Revenge? That was one of the first three, was it? One of your first two.
Yeah.
This is the very first child, and it's the overachiever, because it also, as well as the Great Taste Award, it's also got highly commended at the Crafty Gin of the Year Award. And it's also, people might like to know, in the latest edition of 101 Gins to Try Before You Die.
Oh, congratulations.
All in there.
Yeah.
What's in it? Can you remember?
We remember.
Without looking at the book, it's you've got fresh orange and lemon zest, green cardamom, a little touch of cinnamon, there's a dash of nutmeg, and there's star anise in there, and a couple of other things.
Orange and lemon.
I said the orange and lemon zest.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say to Zoe, don't talk about it.
Not the secret ingredient.
It's very layered. It really is very layered, and the zest just kind of brings everything up and gives it a bit of a zhuzh as well. So yeah, it goes down very well indeed.
Yeah, we only use fresh zest, so there's no dried zest going. It's all fresh.
Which then just quickly leads us on to what else we also do is our marmalade. Because we use fresh zest in the gins, we end up with fresh citrus fruit. So then I take groups of the citrus fruit and then I mix with botanicals. Say if I'm going to make Cuckold's Revenge gin jelly marmalade, then I'll put some of the botanicals within that, make the marmalade, then put the gin in as well. And what we do is with this is that started us with our marmalade fund, which is the charity arm of the business. And so first of all, we just gave them away for donations, and now it's actually one of the products. So every sale, there's £2 of every sale goes to charity. And we've got other products that we also do that for as well. Yeah. But it's great because one of our big things is sustainability, and we don't want to waste anything. We want to make sure that things are recyclable, reusable, etc. And so that's kind of, you know, one of the things we do as well.
So the charity work always really intrigues me when I hear distillers talk about giving to charity. So is there a particular charity that you give on a regular basis, or why is that sound like a strange question, but why is that important to you? Is there a driver behind the charity side of things?
We believe in community.
Yeah.
And Cumbria, like many places, you know, like most places, there is a good community around here. I think we feel Cumbria is more special in a way because we're the biggest county with the least amount of population. So we tend to, people here, we have to rely on each other a lot more, and we look after each other. And it just goes with, I think both of us have a background of that's the right thing to do, and that's what we want to do. So if we're managing to be successful in something, we want to be able to somehow share that success with others around us. Yeah. So it's as simple as that, really. And it's a really nice thing to do, and you get to meet new people. And what we do is every year we have 2 different charities that we support, always at least one local one, and then maybe one which is perhaps a little bit more national, but with local points with it. Yeah. And then, we do raffles. We were going to be this year going to be doing some charity evenings, but COVID kind of got in the way of that. Yeah. I mean, even just the marmalade alone last year, we managed to, so say it's £2 for each jar, and we managed to raise £900 just with the marmalade. So brilliant. It's not bad, as we're doing small batches, and it's great. And we think, you know, every penny helps and all of that. So we do it.
Yeah, and I think that's a really the word nice does not do it justice, but a really nice, wholesome message as well that reflects. You know, I was really curious about what you guys did before, and actually, are you still doing those jobs in addition to gin, or is the job's gone? It is just gin now. Have you abandoned ship elsewhere, or are we just going with the flow, Andy? We're just seeing if the agent rings, you know.
I've still got an equity card, you know. I'm still on Spotlight, but my main body of work was theatre, so that had to stop because I have to be here, you know. I can fit a couple of days in doing a voiceover or a little bit of filming, but if it's a theatre job, it's a minimum of 3, 6, 9 months. So, you know, you can't give that time. So, I do that.
But one day that, you know, he's going to get offered that role that he will never be able to turn down, because he's always going to be an actor, and, you know, until the day he pops his clogs. So we know that something will happen, but that's fine. That's no problem at all. Yeah, it's fine. You go off. You know, leave me.
Yeah. We are doing very well with our marmalade. Yeah, this is going really well. So batch before you go, and then we'll see you when you get back.
Exactly.
That'll be it.
So, told me, Ben, giggle in the ginnel.
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 Ginnel. Is ginnel a place?
It's a passageway between 2 houses.
Alleyway.
An alleyway.
I feel I should have known that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ginnel. Right. Ginnel.
There's lots of different names depending on where you live. So around here it's called a ginnel. I think in parts of Yorkshire it's gennel, I think, and then all sorts. There's lots of different names for it. And well, very simply, the giggle in the ginnel came about because it was Andrew's 50th birthday, and we decided we were going to have a party, and we ended up, because our ginnel is so wide and it's right next to the house, we put a barbecue at the end of it, put loads of tables and chairs, and we had part of the party was in the ginnel. So we made this giggle in the ginnel. Yeah,
we made the gin for the party.
Yeah.
So tell us about that one then. What's in that? Can you remember?
This one is elderberries. We've got elderberries in there, and we've also got some star anise and some angelica roots. So in fact, it's actually got a slight sort of aniseedy flavour to it. This is the one that we slightly push the boundaries of gin. It is gin. It is definitely a gin. It's a London dry gin, but this one actually won Signature Botanical. Well, it got highly commended Signature Botanical at the Crafty Gin of the Year Awards, because I think it can be a little bit controversial because of that aniseed that goes through it. but it has an awful lot of fans, and we've actually noticed that quite a lot of whiskey drinkers go towards this one as well, because it's not whiskey, but it has a slight flavor profile.
Yeah.
And I think Andrew kind of did it subconsciously because of him being a big whiskey drinker before.
There you go.
You did that, didn't you? Louise has beat me to it, so I know the conversation about aniseed, the conversation about different flavour profiles, but certainly aniseed comes up quite a lot in my ambassador group and on the Sippers and Sharers page, looking for gins that have got different levels of aniseed and sort of spice. And I just thought, Louise, when Louise has just written, yay, aniseed. That's why I pointed, I was like, ladies, you're going to like this. So, still in the Ginnel.
Ginnel, yeah.
Okay, so we've got our slight aniseed twist on that one. And are these 40%, 37%? What are they?
Cuckold's
Revenge is 44%, and Giggle in the Ginnel is 43%.
I suppose the lowest one is Shed Loads of Love. So Shed Loads of Love is 41. 41, that's right. It's our liqueurs that are 40.
Yeah.
So that one's 41, which is Shed Loads of Love, because that had to be. We had to have something called Shed Loads of Love. So there's that one. And then, the liqueurs are 40%. Yeah. Nothing, we don't have anything below 40.
Well, I must admit, so let's just talk about this delicious elixir that I've been enjoying. Which I did enjoy. And if you haven't seen the review from last week, please go take a look. There you go. Yeah. So what is an elixir? Because you've just said about liqueur, but this is 40%. So I think most people would think of a gin liqueur as you're 18, you're 19, 20. So when you mention the word liqueur, I'm looking at this going, that's like it's just not a normal gin, but that's gin in my book. So just talk us through the differences when you are on your 3 gins and then the 6 plus 2. What do you mean?
Well, the thing is, obviously Zoe was doing the Festive Bramble gin, and we were wanting to develop something. We knew that there were a lot of, as you say, liqueurs on the market, and 15, 18, 20%, things like that. But we wanted to go for a more traditional angle, because traditionally liqueurs would be full strength. And we're a bit rustic in our design and a little bit sort of snake oil salesman and that kind of thing influencing it. So I just came up, traditionally there would be alcoholic elixirs to help you get through the winter months, with no guaranteed, medical benefits whatsoever in history.
No guaranteed. I'm like nodding like definitely.
So it was just a way, and also there is a specific amount of sugars that have to be in something for it to be a liqueur, and that would have been too sweet for our style. So just to separate it from the rest of the liqueur range in the world, we called ours elixirs.
I think also, just to point out, a lot of the gin liqueurs aren't actually gin. That's the other thing. They are there are some beauties out there, and I love liqueurs, and I think there are some beautiful ones. But there is the issue that gin has to be 37.5%, and the main ingredient has to be juniper. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not actually gin. Yeah. And so we felt that also if we put ours out there saying, look, this is a traditional elixir, a gin. It's based with your juniper. It's 40%. This is gin elixir, right? As opposed to many of the other drinks out there. Yeah. It's trying to make sure the consumer knows what they're getting. I think that's also to make sure that it's clear for them what we're doing.
Yeah, we don't distill the gin in the elixirs. It's a compound gin, but it's all our gin starts a compound gin, and then we filter them and we distill the 6 that we distill. But with the elixirs, we just filter them and then add the fresh fruit and bring it down to the 40%. So
I've got to pick you up on something you said a moment ago when you self-critiqued and you said, there's a bit of salesman, a bit of black oil snake. You two are the least black oil snake we're ever going to talk to.
It was more in the design of the It's more in the design of the lettering and stuff on the bottles. And it's an old pharmacy bottle. And, you know, the days of standing in the back of a cart in the market going, I have this wonderful thing here that'll make your hair grow and your teeth fall out and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, we're not doing that.
You have to remember, he still is an actor.
Yeah.
Remember this. So you mentioned Festival Bramble a couple of times, and what I love, Zoe, that you said off camera is, and it just like filled my heart with joy. He said, "I've been foraging. What's that? I want to sing from the Cumbrian hills with you." It was like, oh, I just bloody love it. I want to go foraging. I've got a field here. I might forage something.
Do it.
A lot of dams have started on that journey already. Oh yeah, millions. So what have you been foraging, and why have you been foraging, and where have you been foraging?
Well, as I say, with the festive bramble elixir, this one, as I say, this is the one that, because especially with this bottle, Andrew can just slip it in the back of his jeans as well. So that's the other thing. So marketing is amazing that we've been up to.
There, yeah.
The idea with it is that, again, we're in Ulverston, we've got countryside all the way around us, we have the hedgerows, etc. And so simply, I take the border terrier, our lovely distillery dog, Bertie.
Dog snap.
Yeah, great. And we go off, and then we go and pick loads of blackberries from the hedgerows and also from a friend's field. And in fact, in that friend's field, oh look, that Mabel.
This is Mabes, the puppy. I tried to kick her out and she's just reappeared. So.
Of course they do. So we are next to the canal here, and in Ulverston we have the shortest canal in Europe. It's 1.3 miles long, and then it goes right down. It goes to the bay, and a friend of ours lives there, and he's got a big field. And what he's been doing the last few years is growing rare heritage apples that used to grow around here, but no longer do, or very rarely.
Rare heritage apples.
Yeah.
So we had a chat with him, and last year, so this one, which is from last year's batch, I'm just putting together this year's batch now. So in there, you've got the forage blackberries from all over Ulverston, and then the apples that you've got in there are called Bloody Ploughman, Ladyfinger, and Dog Snout.
Of course they are, Andrew. Of course they are. You didn't name them yourself.
There you go.
So it's lovely. So we've got that one, and the one that you were drinking, the blackcurrant and licorice. The blackcurrants are grown by a chap just down the road in Levens. So again, trying to use local produce, trying to use other local little, small businesses, small companies. We do love doing a lot of collaborating with people and pulling things together. And again, it's sort of, we work with each other. We really need other people to talk to. So,
So, Mabel, you're getting some love as well. Yeah, and great dog choice as well. Love the foraging, and dogs love a good sniff and a walk, so they stick with you, don't they, Borders? So we've got Cuckold's Revenge, Giggle in the
Giggle.
Yeah.
What's the festival tipple?
Festive tipple.
Festive tipple.
That's not Dead Loads of Love. Loads of Love is another one.
No, the festive tipple is it's got everything in it really that you'd find in soft fruit cake and mulled wine and a couple of other things as well.
Pies.
Yeah.
It's Christmas in glass.
Yeah.
And do you sell that all year round? Are all of these available to buy now, or
we always have a supply of Cuckold's, Giggle, and Fancy Frolic. The other ones, the Shed Loads of Love is a limited edition. Festive Tipple, we have some left here. We just do it around Christmas time. And Chili Fest is done in batches throughout the year. So.
Oh, Chili Fest.
Yeah.
Oh my life.
Licorice will be available throughout the year, but the festive bramble just relies on how many blackberries get picked by this year.
How long have you been walking the dog for?
Yeah.
What else can you carry?
Exactly.
Yeah. Go on.
That's the Chili Fest. And you'll notice, you'll probably could just about pick up, and let me see, that it's got a slightly yellow hue.
You can see it, yeah.
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 And the reason for that is when we were figuring out that down the road at Holker Hall, which is one of the big houses, big stately homes in the area, they do a chili festival every year. And they were saying, oh, do you have anything chili? Do you want to take part of it? And so we went, well, let's have a go. So we had a go with chilies, and I say Mistress Ford, his other wife, threw the chilies. And we realized that when we were distilling, that the chilies became a very harsh heat, and we didn't like it. So we made our spiced gin and we distilled that, and then we took the chilies and we infused the chilies and then took them out and left it, didn't distill it again. And that way we found you ended up with a soft heat. So it's not a blow your head off. It's something that you can enjoy. Yeah. And it's got an awful lot of fans. Yes, and it's gone down really well.
So Louise, just on the subject of chilies and talking through this range, Louise has said, stop talking. Do you do a giant discount on buying the whole range? Because see comments or not? Can you see comments as they appear on screen?
No, not.
Oh, no, sorry. I never know. Some people can and some people can't. So no, Louise is one of.
Oh, there we go.
Can now.
Yes.
So
you can see them, I can't.
There is a lot of now I want to, if you scroll up, there's now I want to buy this one. September's looking very expensive. Please stop talking. Stop talking. I'm going off camera. I'm getting off. You do a giant discount on buying the whole range. There is a 10% offer at the moment, isn't it? What was the code? I need to check.
There's a 10% off for the blackcurrant and licorice. We did actually have 10% off until the end of July. So sorry, people, for that one. But there will be another discount coming along shortly. So if you want to sign up to our newsletter, which you can do on the website, if you do that, then you'll find out all about it as quickly as anybody does. I did notice, what would you drink Chili Fest and what would you mix with the festive and the chili? I think that's one thing that we also like to talk about in a way, because again, beautiful tonics out there, stunning ones. Fentimans, everybody's they're doing, but they're kind of drinks in themselves. And one of the things you'll find, or we find with our gins and a lot of other craft artisan gins, is that we hope we have done the work for you, that we've added all the flavors that you need, because that's what we've done. That's, we've kind of put our heart and our creativity into this. And so we generally say, if you're going to mix them, before you try anything else, just try it with a straight tonic, no flavors, no extra botanicals or anything. Within the bar itself, we don't have any garnishes. When people come in to have a drink, we don't add garnishes. We just simply, it's either tonic water and ice, or I tend to drink with soda water, because then I know that I don't get any extra flavors at all. But then the other thing, when you have a gin, and not just ours, but if you've got a gin that's got spice in it, so for example, the Festive Tipple, Cuckold's Revenge, Giggle in the Ginnel, and the liqueurs as well, if you put a little bit in a cup and put it in the microwave and warm it for 10 to 15 seconds, it actually brings out the spice. And spices love heat. And just drink it straight like that. The Festive Tipple with a mince pie like that at Christmas is absolutely delightful.
You've got microwaves going off around the country now. There is a donut microwave, but now Michael buying a microwave. I must admit, I haven't done that yet, so that will be the next time I drink this. It will be warm. So and then drink it warm, not let it cool with ice or anything. Drink it warm. Okay.
Andrew says it's because I used to live in Japan, because I used to warm sake and things like that.
Because he worked in Japan and he loves sake and
But it is, as I say, anything with a spice. So not just our gins. If you think of if there's another gin that you like and it has a little bit of spice in it, warm it and see how it goes. We say, for the Shed Loads of Love is a floral. It's got rose petals, lavender in it. Fancy Frolic is got lime and ginger in. So they don't need warm. but the ones that have that spice in, yeah, they're lovely.
So.
You two and what you're doing is so, as a marketeer, if I talk as a marketeer for a moment, is so authentic, which is a term often overused as well, but it all fits together. Everything about you two, if I can speak about you two,
Please do.
third person. I love it. It does fill my heart with joy, because the attention to detail that you put into this program, you know, talking about going foraging and the tips, the things like the warming up, I know will be really appreciated. I've already had messages about how much people are enjoying this.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Andrew, I don't think it's down to me. I'm going to say I reckon you two are doing a pretty good
It's a team thing.
We can pass it. So before I have to go and check what this mysterious jigsaw my 8 and 6-year-old are doing, yes, everybody, you heard me correctly, my children are doing a jigsaw. What is next on the horizon? Weddings? Wedding events?
Oh, yes.
Yes, well, you know, we felt we didn't have enough to do.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we were talking to the registrar last year about this, and then everything got put on hold because of lockdown. But then they got in touch with us in June and said, "Do you still want the license?" We said yes. So we are now licensed for weddings. You can either get married in our lovely, stylish bar, or in amongst the stills in the distillery. And the fact is, it's a small space, so it's between 4 and 30 people, and it's lovely. And we've got beautiful views of the Hode, and so yeah, we're looking forward. That's our next big adventure, as it were.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed that's going to work out.
And I feel that Andy may make a new gin especially for this, and he would call it something magnificent as well.
That's the beauty, isn't it?
Yeah, the first people we had making their own gin here, it was a young couple their wedding has been put back because of COVID, but they wanted to make a gin for their wedding so they could serve it to them. So the pair of them came along, and they called themselves the Ginny Pigs because they were the first people to actually make gin here. And they had a great time, and it was just lovely. And that side of the business has been a wonderful surprise, really.
Yeah.
We bought into this place so we could have a bigger distillery, and then we said, oh well, we'll do gin making classes because that's where our enthusiasm comes from. You know, making compound gins. You can come and make a bathtub gin with us, or you can make a distilled gin with us.
Thank you. I will. Yes, thank you. I look forward to that. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you can, actually, you could get a tin and do it at home. And there's a there you go.
There's the plug.
Yeah, but it's a really nice part of it. So if somebody wants to have a special day, they can come and make a special gin for it, and it's
going really well. It's lovely, actually. Everybody has such a good time, and every single person has a different idea.
Yeah,
it's fabulous. The amount of gins, you know, we occasionally think, oh, we should write that recipe down.
Yeah, I do.
It's challenging for us as well, and it's great because we've spoken to a lot of people before we started, and a lot of people have said, oh, I've made my own gin. I've been here and there. I didn't like that one I made, and I thought, oh, what's the reason you didn't like it? So we're very much hands-on, and we guide people through. It's very much their gin. It's their choice of botanicals. We just help with the balance. And try and make it a touch wood that they leave with something they like.
Yeah. With a little bit of Shakespearean theatre thrown in. If that ever work its way in.
Yeah.
Oh, we can talk about that. That's a whole another event angle.
That's it. Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole new venture. God.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure Macbeth would make a nice gin. I'm not that right kind of character.
No. But we've got the sanitizer to wash your hands.
Oh yes, you can get rid of the blood. Yeah, there we go.
Well, I wish you both the very best of luck and look forward to seeing the photos of the weddings when they happen. And I'm sure there's a lot more followers on your page now that can keep their eye on what's happening. And we announced, by the way, we announced the competition winner. Somebody on Facebook, on Instagram, our first Instagram winner. earlier on this evening. So good luck with the festive bramble foraging. Love the
you.
Walking. Please wear a long flowy dress with the border walking along. I want that vision to be delivered. Yeah, good. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wicker basket, everything. Yeah.
Paisley, more Paisley things. So thank you very much for obviously sending me this beautiful product, and for sharing it, and for the competition as well. So I've got in touch with the lady, and we'll see what she chooses from your kit, one of which is the basket of gin. We're already being asked another tasting and distiller interview in time for Christmas of the festive tipple, pretty please. Lord, watch this.
Okay.
Can I just say before we finish, Kate, it's been an absolute pleasure. First of all, your communication is brilliant. The emails that have gone backwards and forwards. I'm not surprised you're getting so many followers, because we really appreciate what you're doing, and thank you so much for highlighting people like us. Yeah. And we can't do it without everyone's support. So thank you very much.
So, right, absolute pleasure. Pleasure. Right, well, you two lovely folk, you stay there for a second. We'll say bye to everybody else. So thank you for joining us this evening. Oh, let me just put your website, oh, my arm's gone numb from the job underneath it. Red One Distillery, all one word?
All one word.
.com, I am, okay. Oh, thanks, Rachel. Rachel saying, love the chat. Evening. Thank you, everybody. Right, we'll say goodbye, everybody. Thanks. Oh, lovely comments. Lovely comments. Right, bye, everybody. See you later. Bye. And